Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've lost track of how many videos we've made on this car building process already. I would imagine it's a couple already because we are, slowly chipping away at this build right here. But as they say, slow motion is better than no motion. And so instead of rambling on for 5 minutes in the intro like I sometimes do tend to do, I'll just go ahead and show you guys what we're doing today. So as you can see, the front end of the Mustang is pretty much naked right now. Today our drink of choice is Squirt. In my opinion, Squirt tastes better than 7-Up. For me, 7-Up is just too syrupy. So we're finally ready to start making our first cuts to this frame up here. As you guys know, when it comes to drift cars, nobody really keeps the front frame structure of the vehicle. What most people do and what I'm going to do today is cut off the frame from about right here, which is where the strut towers are at. Now, obviously, we can't cut off the strut towers because we still need those to install our suspension components. And so we can only really cut up until about here. But honestly, I think I'm going to cut more forward, like around here, because the incision or the cut is going to go from the top all the way down. And over here, as you can see, I have my sway bar bracket. So my incision or my cut is probably going to be more around here all the way up to here. In a few minutes, I'm going to go get a tape measure, a ruler, and a white marker so I can start drawing my lines as to where I'm going to cut with my Sawzall. But before that, we have one more little thing to remove, which is these two brake lines right here. As you can see, they follow the frame and they go all the way up to the front. They go along here and then they go that way to the passenger side brake caliper. I can't leave these hard lines right here because if I did, I'm going to cut straight through them. And so that's why I have to remove those two hard lines. They are pretty big hard lines, like they are very long. It's all one piece from literally the brake reservoir all the way to over there. So they are pretty big lines, but it's inevitable. I have to remove them. But let's go ahead and get started removing those hard lines. I'll try my best not to make a mess with the brake fluid, and I'll try to catch as much brake fluid as I can. And then we'll go ahead and draw my white lines like I said, and then we'll get started cutting with my Sawzall. Now we are on a little bit of a time crunch, so I'm not going to have a ton of time to do stuff to this car today. And that's because tomorrow morning, very early in the morning before sunrise, I don't know what you guys consider early, but for me, like 3, 4, 5 a.m. is pretty early. But early tomorrow morning, I'm going to be leaving for Formula Drift to Long Beach 2. And so it's about a 3-4 hour drive from here where I'm at to Long Beach. And so I'm trying to film this entire video right now and have it edited by tonight so that it can hopefully be uploaded and ready to be to go public on Sunday. And so again, we don't have a ton of time, but we'll see how many things we can get done on this car this afternoon. Alright guys, so I'm pretty much done drawing all my lines so I know where to cut. I was gonna try and take out this whole front clip right here in one piece, but I think that's gonna be a little bit too tricky, so I think I'm gonna be better off doing it in sections. Also, I don't know if you guys will believe me, but I've never actually used a Sawzall or a reciprocating saw ever in my life, so I'm not entirely sure what the Sawzall is gonna feel like, but we'll see how it cuts. And I'm also gonna be using my angle grinder right there in some more spots that are a little bit more tricky, or where I feel like I need to be more precise with the cut, because I feel like I can be more precise with the angle grinder than I can with the Sawzall. All right, guys, we're like halfway through right now. I already made a ton of cuts with the Sawzall and my angle grinder. And again, this is my first time using a Sawzall, or what's the proper name? It says it right here on the box. A reciprocating saw. This is my first time using one. And I mean, the way it cuts through sheet metal like this is really, it's really efficient. It's really awesome. Like it's quick. And the blades I bought, they aren't even high quality blades. They're like generic blades from Harbor Freight, and they're still cutting really well. If I would have used only the angle grinder to do this project, I wouldn't even be like halfway right now. But right now we're about halfway thanks to the Sawzall. And so basically right now we only have like 2 major cuts left until the whole front clip falls off of the car. And so let me go ahead and show that to you guys real quick so you guys can get an idea of what it is exactly I am trying to do right here. Also, I'm still watching Formula Drift seating. It's about what time is it? 4:50. So it's about 5 o'clock right now. Hopefully I can finish this project by 5, 6 o'clock, edit the video, go to sleep, you know, get a little sleep, wake up early and head out to Long Beach. Anyways, these are the last 2 major cuts that we need for the whole front clip to fall off right here. This cut right here, that's straight through the frame, and this cut right here, that's straight through the frame. And so I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, I think I did, but I measured 1 inch exactly from where the sway bar bracket is to right here where I'm going to cut the frame. Same on the other side, 1 inch is the size of the spacer right there. And so these 2 final cuts right here, this one and this one, are by far going to be like the most toughest cuts to make, because this is where like the metal is the thickest. I am a little timid because I've never cut up a car to this extent, but I mean, we all got to learn at some point. And so if I'm going to screw this up, it might as well be on my own $2,000 Mustang rather than on somebody else's vehicle. That's kind of what I love about working on my own stuff. It's like, if I screw it up like bad, it's really okay, because I mean, on this car right here, it just sits here at home and I work on it on my free time. And so if I screw something up like real bad, it's really not that big of an issue, because it's my own car, and so I can just fix it or just not worry about it, you know. Whereas, you know, every mechanic has had their own screw ups on client vehicles. You know, I've never had like a major screw up, but I have had like my little mistakes on client vehicles, and when they do happen, you know, it can be a little stressful, and sometimes like it's like it puts like mental stress on you, and it's like, whoa, what am I gonna do now, you know? But like having the peace of mind of being able to do whatever I want to this car, like I don't know, it just makes me feel good. Like it makes me enjoy working on cars again. All right, guys, here we go. Final 2 cuts. Let's pray this comes out good. Alright guys, we're finally done cutting the front piece. Shout out to my dad. I was using the Sawzall wrong, and he came home from work and he taught me how to use it the right way. And I took like a half hour to cut this piece of the frame, and he took like 3 minutes to cut this side of the frame. I mean, that Sawzall just made the cuts like absolutely A1, perfect, 100%, exactly how I wanted them. Now unfortunately, I'm not going to have enough time to make some plates that I was going to tack weld onto right here and right here. The reason I wanted to do that was to kind of get a vision or an idea as to how I wanted to make the plates, which are eventually going to be used to bolt the crash structure, or like the crash bar, onto those plates. And so that'll probably have to be covered in another video. But the one last thing we're gonna do today, guys, is use my angle grinder one last time. I don't know what you would call this, but I have like this little like soft disc. It's not a disc for cutting, it's more of a disc that's used like to smooth metal. Like it kind of has like a sandpaper kind of texture to it. So I'm gonna use this disc right here, and what we're gonna do is clean up all the rough edges. These cuts right here and right here I did with the Sawzall, and so they are like a little sharp. And so for the sake of not cutting myself, and for the sake of having clean edges on my cuts, we're going to use my grinder and smoothen all these cuts out, especially the ones down here, like where the chassis is. You can see these are pretty sharp right here, all along here. Almost cut myself right there. All along here, all these cuts are like sharp and not so pretty. So we're going to try to make them a little bit more pretty with my angle grinder. Alright guys, that's going to be it for now. Like I said before, the next thing to do here would be to make those plates right here where we're going to bolt the crash structure onto. Now I decided to leave these pieces of the frame right here and right here all the way outward. I was, as you can see, I had actually already marked it with the pen right there. So I was going to cut it with the Sawzall up until about here. But again, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to build out the whole front end of this car. But I will probably cut them later on once I figure out what to do with them. And with all that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching another video here on the channel. Again, I know this is probably going to be a pretty short video, so I apologize in advance. But I promise the next one is going to be a whole lot better, or at least a whole lot longer, because the next video is going to be FD Long Beach 2. So stay tuned for that. That's probably going to be posted Thursday. You guys are probably seeing this video tomorrow, which is Sunday. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to keep seeing all the progress that's being done on this car right here. And I'll see you guys in the next one.